So last night, a very dear friend of mine had the heavy burden to let me know that our common friend had just passed away. And since last night, I'm processing, the rawness of it. And it's my choice to come up here and to share that with you because I know that one way or another, grief and losing someone that is dear to you is something that you have and you will experience in your life. Grief and loss is part of being human. And if anything, really, that I want to share with you today is that there's no rule book. There's no such thing as what you should or shouldn't do as you're grieving now. Of course, your cultural background, your religion perhaps, are definitely going to have an influence on how you behave or what you're going to say, what you're going to do as a family member, as a friend, close or not. Like, this is definitely something that to be mindful of, because in those moments, sensitivity and having empathy towards yourself and other people is key. But the way that you are grieving is so unique to you. And I was on the phone right now with that common friend. We spent about an hour on the phone together, and just talking made me feel so good. And that's really, he's the one person I wanted to talk to, because our friend who passed away was the person through whom we met, and this other friend to whom I talk to is such an important friend in my life. And there were a lot of stuff we wanted to talk about just to process it. We laughed, we talk about things that have nothing to do with that, and just being here for each other and telling each other that even though we both have regrets, the question is, how is that helping us, or what do we want to do about that? And the thing is, we never know. Like, if we would have said or done things differently, we don't exactly know what would have happened. So in this moment, one important thing is to have grace towards yourself and the posture that you hold towards the person that you're grieving. And I remember when my dad passed away, that was already 20 years ago, somebody shared a poem with me that stuck for ever since. And something I think about every time there's someone around me who's going through grief. I think about this poem, and sometimes I share it. And it's about how a person who's gone, who passed away, is a bit like this person is just in another room and is remembering what this person meant, what this person represented, how we speak about this person, the emotion that it brings to us is not going to change. Of course, now there's this layer of sadness and of still, for me in that moment, not realizing, still being in it's not denial, but it's not realizing yet in the physical world that you're not going to see this person anymore. And that part is very hard, it's very difficult, and it's scary, and it's sad. But this poem was really about still speaking in the same terms or with the same joy about that person, because this is what that person brought to you. This is what being friends or a relative with that person meant. And remembering that is really important. And this is what we did on the phone right now, remembering how unique this friend of ours was and how lucky we were to be part of his life and have him part of ours. And I want to share with you as well that this morning, and this is from my perspective as an embodiment coach, and sorry if this is your first time here. My name is Joelle. I am a feminine embodiment coach. I am a self-discovery coach. And here on the Street Blue podcast, I love to bring topics that are common to all of us, mostly from a wellness perspective, but especially from a non-bullshit perspective. And being a coach, of course, means that I'm going to have a perspective as a coach, but mostly and especially today as a human being going through the same shit as everybody else. And so today, it's a new experience because, as I shared, like my dad passed away when I was quite still young. And this is definitely an experience, let's say, in your life. But this friend passing away is the first friend of my age who's gone. And I never experienced that before. And, if anything, besides the sadness and all the emotion, I got curious to see how am I going to handle that and how it's going to look like. So one thing I told myself this morning is choose whatever feels right now. I had some coaching yesterday and I have some tomorrow, and somehow I didn't have any coaching scheduled for today. So it wasn't even a question. I might have postponed some, I might not have, maybe depending on the situation. But I had a dance class in the morning too, and I thought I still want to go. I want to go because even though my body felt so heavy, like I was walking in the street feeling as heavy as ever, and I just couldn't walk faster. So I didn't. I decided, you know what? I don't have this energy, your chi, your life force within. I just felt today was at the lowest, but it's still there and I still want to keep moving, but I'm going to move like fucking slow. And that's okay because today this is just how it is. And I went to that dance class and I could barely follow the moves. So I just did what I could, and I wanted to cry. I didn't because it just didn't feel that I wanted to actually do that. But I just stayed because I liked to be in that room. I liked the energy of the other people around me. I liked to be surrounded by the music, the energy of the teacher who somehow was super energetic today. To some extent, that made me feel good. And I thought, there's no rule book. Yes, you might be grieving and you might think, oh, because that happened, this person just passed away, I'm not supposed to dance, walk, laugh. Who said that? What are those rules about? What are they for? Like I said at the beginning, yes, you have certain things or certain behavior out of compassion and your cultural influence. But what you decide to do about yourself, for yourself, about your day, about your week, about your month, choose what feels right because you are allowed to grieve in your own way. If all you want to do is not talk to anyone for a while and just be with yourself and with the memory, then do it. If you want to go and change your mind and do something like completely different, or do your usual because you want to feel that life keeps going, then do it. There's absolutely no rules. Just asking yourself what is supportive, because grieving is, as much as it is part of life, it's still a difficult part. It can be intense. And depending, of course, of the relationship that you have with the person, like it can be even more intense. What do you need right now? What does your body need right now? Are you going to listen? And if not, why not? Like, what's the most important to you right now? So I just want to say that if you are grieving at the moment, or whether, you're in rage, whether you're sad, whether you're laughing at the memories you have with your friend or your family member, you're not doing it wrong. That's all I wanted to tell you today. Your body is really your altar, for this grieving that's happening. And it's so personal. And it is universal because everybody goes through it. But it's so personal because you have your unique way of doing that. And if anything, let your body lead you into it. All right. I wish you well. I hope you're well, whatever it is that you're going through. And I send you love, and I'll talk to you soon.